remember, if you try to make me right, that's impossible. Pikachu, Pikachu, Pikachu. Yes, I'm Ganondorf. Evolved into Raichu. Did you know that?
No.
It's a fun fact for you.
Okay.
Ganondorf doesn't evolve into Raichu.
That's expected, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that better?
So that was Ganondorf singing the Pikachu song. Did you guys hear it? And how bad was it? And did it get delayed or choppy?
There are some positive.
Moving in the right,
feedbacks.
yeah, maybe in the right direction.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
So-
got to be good enough, I guess.
Yeah.
So sorry about that.
It's okay. This is interactive, so
It's a new webcam, and apparently its audio and video are completely out of sync.
yes. Well, that could be a special feature, like separate audio from the video.
Yeah, nice.
Totally cool and unusual. Could be. That's a selling point. So yeah.
Oh crap! Yeah, I thought that would
My left ear.
Oh. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Alright, and unfortunately, this is only running through the left channel because I can't. We don't have enough money to buy Wirecast Pro, which means we can't separate left and right.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
I didn't realize they don't get like just a mono feed. They get like half a stereo
I
feed.
can't tell this program to be mono.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so anyway, we're going to just play forward because this is even more boring than usual. All we have is tech problems to talk about on camera. So yes, Joel Phoenix, tell us about your musical idea. Go for it. In fact, all of you guys can tell us about your musical ideas right now in the comments because this is interactive and we like to hear from people, especially when our audio is so funky. It's better if you guys do all the talking. And we'll sit here and nod on your picture like this.
Oh, they got to see they got to see me hit the microphone really hard and stop it from buzzing.
Do you know it stopped buzzing?
They're saying it did.
Oh, good.
And I know that hitting it makes it stop buzzing usually.
Yeah, okay.
We need a new microphone too.
Patreon! That's kind of a thing.
That is kind of a thing.
Is that on there right now, listed, that we could use a new microphone?
Yep.
Okay. Well, anyway, if any of you are wealthy businessmen or women or millionaires or banillionaires, it's like if you have millions of bananas.
Yes, I was thinking that.
Billions of bananas everywhere.
If you're Donkey Kong.
Yes, you can come contribute to our Patreon and help us get better tech, like that microphone, which also is what we use to record musicals on. So we often have to right in front of like you and get your actor or actress in there, like ready to sing, and then Peter's like, "Oh, hold on!" He gets right up in their face, he's like, "Boom!" Sorry, like that. Boom.
Yep, that's what I do.
And he's like, "Okay, good." And then they're all like, "Oh, what just happened?" It's like, "I fixed your audio." Doesn't seem that way. So yeah. Anyway, if you guys have musical ideas, go ahead and throw them out there, and we'll do kind of a, since this is a new year, we'll go through some of your musical ideas right here on camera, and that'll be fun. But in the meantime, here's our first question.
Which?
From Rice Baby Tran.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep.
Wait, so we read the question in opera? Or the answer in opera?
Yes, no, the question.
Okay.
Question. You want to take the first one?
So what is the weirdest time a cop pulled you over?
That was pretty nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. What the weirdest time a cop pulled either of us over? To be honest, it wasn't exactly a pullover. Maybe it was more like a cardigan, actually. So the weirdest time that I interacted with the police, I think honestly, was back in high school. I was finishing a Metroid Christmas video, and this was, I think I've maybe told the story before. It was kind of a tasteless video because Samus Aran was like chasing the terrorists from like 9/11, and we happened to have a guy out there like in a hood with like dynamite. It was fake dynamite, but it was still kind of tasteless. This is before like my town was small, so police don't shoot you on sight for that. Either way, for whatever reason, I was a Metroid, but we didn't really have money or time for the costume, so I basically just got like a bunch of like purpley, bluey mesh like sheets and draped them over my head. And then like I was like jumping all over Samus Aran because we had a dude playing Samus with like a big motorcycle helmet and stuff. And I was like hanging on his back, dressed as a Metroid, with just like I looked stupid. And then the police pulled up. They're like, "What's going on here?" And I'm like, "I'm being a Metroid, sir." And that didn't mean much to him. But I guess his chief complaint, other than the fact that I looked disturbing, was that I was wearing other clothes. By the way, it wasn't just a sheet.
Gotcha.
I was dressed fully. But the point is, I still was freaky looking and hanging on another dude in the middle of like the town square. And we were plugging our power for like the camera or the light or something into like the village green. So he's like, "You can't take power from them like that." I was like, "Oh, well, it was on and it was right there. And, I pay taxes." Actually, I didn't. I was a child. I paid sales tax.
My mom pays taxes.
Yes, my mom pays taxes. I go to school right there. So, yeah, that was probably the weirdest time I interacted with law enforcement.
I think the weirdest time for me, also not random encounters related, incidentally, was coming back from New York City at one point, going back to Ithaca College, which there was a really bad snowstorm, and so like the highways were completely locked, and so I would maybe drive every 10 minutes or something like that, and then stop for another 10 minutes and whatever. So I had the very poor idea of watching all 3 Lord of the Rings in the car, because I had enough time to do that.
Were you driving?
Yeah.
What?
The cop didn't like that. So don't
watch movies.
Watch and drive, kids. Don't watch and drive in a snowstorm.
The last time I think we got interacted with by the cops, actually, I think was Companion Q.
I can't answer that question. Sorry, I was going to start from lower because...
Okay, I was just going to go down until they looked familiar again.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, well, you meant down until they start looking familiar and then stop looking for them.
Gotcha.
Rather than looking to...
Sorry.
Yeah, because we're not answering more questions yet. I was looking for their ideas for musicals.
So there are other people still having tech issues. I don't know how to see them or resolve them. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to try to be as entertaining as possible visually, too. All right, so let's see. How about the Phoenix Wright musical you promised as Xenotech 2000? Wow, Xenotech 2000's been around for a while. Yeah, that's pretty good. Phoenix Wright's on the whiteboard right now. So that's actually a legit thing that we're kind of working toward.
We did promise
it. Yeah, we did promise it. The problem was I'd never played Phoenix Wright, so I issue this ultimatum. Either we can make it without me knowing anything about it, which is going to be like, "My name is Phoenix Wright. I'm an ace attorney. That's what I do. I got spiky blue hair." He doesn't even have blue hair. He has a blue suit. So yeah, that's how little I know about it. Fortunately, Sparrow knows tons about it, and so I borrowed the games from her. Well, I think she might have borrowed the games from somebody else. I forget. Either way, I'm playing through them now, and I've gotten through the first game and part of the second. I have to at least get through 3 of the games before I feel comfortable actually doing it justice. Mm-hmm. Justice! Ha-ha! That would be actually the whole musical. It'd just be bad, like, lawyer puns and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So that's why we haven't done it yet. But that's a good idea for a musical, because it is a good idea for a musical. I'm doing it for a musical.
So yeah, that's been...
Yeah. Didn't mean to get all defensive
postponed because we forgot.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't forget, but
yeah. So that was a great memory. Yes, there needs to be a Phoenix Wright musical, and it's in progress. But I want to get through more.
What are the musicals that we've done that we never played the game to? How many are there?
You mean haven't played extensively?
At all, either of us.
Oh, at all?
Yeah.
Has that ever happened?
Rhythm Thief might be the only one.
Oh, you're right. We never got to play Rhythm Thief.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't tend to make stuff based on games that neither of us have played ever.
Yeah, I think it would be Rhythm Thief that's the only one.
Yeah. Animal Crossing musical. We were just talking about Animal Crossing as a musical the other night.
That might happen at some specific point next year.
I'm really... You mean 2014?
Yes.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah,
right.
I really hope we get to an Animal Crossing musical this year. I wish we'd done it for New Leaf, but that's okay. Animal Crossing is always cool. Mm-hmm. Casey Hurst has a Wreck-It Ralph musical.
Nice.
I actually have thought that before myself. I've been like, ooh, a Wreck-It Ralph musical. The problem is now it's out, so now it's like, oh, it's an awesome movie still, but now it's less popular than if we'd gotten on it like as it came out and been like, boom, Wreck-It Ralph musical. So I'm totally on board with you, Casey. I think that's great.
Also, hit it lighter because the camera's on the computer.
Boom.
So every time you do that, you're shaking
Earthquake.
The live stream.
Musical idea. A musical about Flash games. Recommends Race Baby Trend. That's
like,
okay.
What Flash games?
Like
okay.
Flashing games. I love flashing. YouTube
I think QWOP is probably the right one to do.
Yes, a QWOP musical. Yes, I think we're gonna.
We need to get that guy, that cosplayer, or performer, or whoever. Remember the guy who was doing QWOP live at a convention?
No, I don't. I don't know what you're talking about.
You haven't seen that video?
No, I haven't.
There's a video where like he legit did the entire move set.
It
was so awkward.
I never heard this was a thing.
It was beautiful.
Never in my life.
Look it up, folks.
Zonin the Fifth says it's the musical involving me eating babies and punching penguins.
No.
That sounds something more like for the History
I'm fine with the
Channel
eating
or
babies
something.
part, but we don't punch penguins here.
It sounds way too boring for us. Do a snake musical for Peter, says Jack in a Torx. I wanted to call him Jack in a Box, but it's Jack in a Torx, actually. That's not bad. Oh, trying to beat Miss Bird to have a QWOP musical. Okay, somebody was kind of on that. Nothing went up on Patreon this month. What is that?
That is true. We did not officially present either Flagpole or Clefairy as paid content on Patreon.
Oh.
For those of you who might not know, patreon.com is a fundraising website where basically you tell Patreon, I'm willing to pay X number of dollars every time that Random Encounters puts up a musical that they consider content. And so each time that we put up a musical and we hit the this is content button, the system says, hey guys, they just put up a musical and you can choose whether to pay up or not, but it's a nice little system where it's kind of automatic. There are little perks each time. You can get accompaniment tracks to our musicals at this point, but yeah, that's the gist of Patreon. You've probably been hearing about the site for a while, but that's what it is. We're going to be doing a video about it later sometime.
Super Sancha recommends a Beard musical.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an awesome idea. I think the Beard deserves it. Except the problem is it would be like, ooh, 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 ooh. Unless it's a choir singing about the Beard.
Oh, that's good.
Jake the Hedgehog doesn't want us to tech him that you guys are bronies. Okay.
Huh?
Please don't tech me. You guys are bronies.
Please don't. What? I don't even see where. Oh.
Okay, we won't.
What's teching?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
We won't do it though. We promise. Scout's honor. Solid Snake the musical. Okay. Again. Solid Snake is
Again.
The General Grunt wants to has a devilish idea, but it's a top secret. So banana coins.
Banana coins. Sorry.
Coin. There you go. You just got the banana coins musical. The starters from Pokemon games come to... Oh, this is Joel the Phoenix's idea. This is a advanced... I think I've seen this before, too. The starters from Pokemon games come together and sing why they are the best starter. Or the starters sing about why their type is the best. Which is a little like the Pikmin musical, but Pokemon-themed. So that's not bad. That sounds like it could be a very good musical.
Indeed.
Musical on production problems.
Or live streaming problems.
Yeah. We'll just... Yeah. That you see way too many of those already. I don't think we want to.
Yes.
The Mighty Pooh already was a musical. Sorry, Grunt. Yeah, those look like most of the... So anyway, those were some of the recommended musical things.
Yes.
Here's more questions.
Your turn to sing.
Oh. Yes. The Yami Jaden 001 asks... Do you guys have any advice to get over a broken heart? Because I can't say the word. My fiance broke up with me, and your songs have made me so happy. Thank you.
I would not pay for that musical.
No. Well, I put it on Patreon, so you're good.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to pay for that.
Okay.
In fact, you don't have to pay for it even if player.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So
We wanted to do a Slender musical for a while.
we want to work with Markiplier for a while too.
Also wanted that.
So there you go. And he's on the Polaris network. So
Yeah.
he's gotten very popular. When we first met him, I want to say he was like half the size he is now.
Oh yeah. Well, actually,
And we didn't meet him that long ago.
we should say when we first met him, he was half the size that he was about 3 months ago when we checked a second time.
No, I just checked again the other day.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I recall, but maybe you recall him a different size when we first met him.
Okay.
Because it was bigger maybe when
Possibly.
I thought I checked his channel than you did. Anyway, Markiplier, awesome. Slender.
Everyone's still having
awesome.
sound problems. I'm sorry, I don't know what to do about the sound problems. I can't reproduce them, so.
Question. I'm playing Metroid Prime 2. Oh, I'm sorry. Question. I'm playing Metroid Prime 2 at this very moment. What Metroid games have y'all played or liked? Do you respect the Metroid series? Yes, we do. And that's all I have to say about this matter.
Really?
No, actually.
Okay.
I just wanted to... I felt like that would fit the tune.
I have played a small amount of one Metroid game. I don't remember which it was. I've played very little Metroid. I do have respect for the Metroid series because, I mean, everything I've read about Metroid series is pretty awesome. But have to admit, haven't played much.
I actually just took Metroid Prime 2 out and put on a stack of games I have to go through still because I only started like 10% of Metroid Prime 2 before I stopped playing it back when I first got it. So, but I liked Metroid Prime. It was a really thick game. So for people who've never played Metroid games, they can be a headache, a major headache. So anyway, but yeah, the original Metroid was cool. Hard. The Metroid games are traditionally pretty hard too. But yeah, they're cool. They're cool kind of future exploration things, and Samus's weapons are cool. It's kind of like Zelda that way, where the artillery you have is awesome. Like, they do a nice job with your items and stuff. So anyway, I have a lot of respect for Metroid, and I think it'd make a great musical someday. Somebody had asked about a TMNT musical, Ninja Turtles. I thought that was interesting, because
we've talked about that almost like every live chat, honestly. Yeah. There exists in this world a Ninja Turtles musical.
A ninja musical. A ninja musical. There should be. Maybe we'll just do a ninja musical. Avengers or Marvel musical offers Just the Dancer. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That would be fun.
Yeah, an Avengers musical.
That would be super fun.
That would be awesome. I like that. Yeah, thank you. Think Deep already actually addressed the Ninja Turtles musical. And Blue Chem says a musical about Kid Icarus. Especially if you did a song in the form of Gregorian chant, or at least a hymnal, or even a gospel soul style.
I prefer Gregorian chant. It'd be hilarious.
Yes, although a gospel like Kid Icarus song would be like fair. Gospel is a fun genre of music to get. So actually, I like that idea a lot. We should do a Kid Icarus thing like that. Good call, nice. And then have Solid Snake like break it down in the middle. Oh no, everything disappeared. Adventure Time the musical. Okay, I could kind of see it. Jack and Daxter. That's a thing too. In fact, that came up in our messages recently too. So I think those are pretty good.
I often sing when I yawn. Sorry.
Sly Cooper. Okay, not bad. Dragon Ball Z the musical. Okay, that would be like the entire song is charging. Maybe collab with Brental Floss or Lyle McDouchebag. I don't know Lyle, actually, but Brental Floss could be a thing in the future, I think. We have not met him, but he was over on our channel at some point commenting on the Gannon Claus song a year ago for Christmas, so. Anyway. Here's a question from Django Knight 7. You want to read this one?
Can you please reconsider doing Ender versus Slender?
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ender versus Slender? I mean, we could. That was recently that brought up the fact that we were going to do an Enderman versus Slenderman musical. But it kind of got swept under the carpet because we had too many other projects. And that's still kind of yes, that's how we do it. We sweep things like that. With my fingers on the floor.
Yes.
Hey, but I wouldn't be against doing it still. We have to have time and stuff to stop delaying Phoenix Wright to instead make a Enderman versus Slenderman musical or something. BioShock the musical, that's pretty good. You guys need to make a musical about sandwich making. Okay. We'll take that one under advisement. Thanks. It'd be cool. Oh, here we go. Somebody says GTA musical. That's I don't know. We talked about doing that back in the day, and then AV might beat us to it. So it kind of exists out there in a pretty darn good form, but I wouldn't cross it off completely.
Yeah.
So, here's a question from AllieFern99. How did you guys get permission to do Arkham Origins in a church? That was not actually opera. I apologize for that.
No, it wasn't.
No.
It really wasn't.
Well,
I just have to steel myself every time you read a question.
Okay.
For the pain.
I'll do one as Clefairy next time.
Oh.
How did you guys get Clefairy permission to do Arkham Clefairy Origins in a Clefairy church?
And now we have no viewers.
That was actually Toad, more like
Yahoo!
How do we get permission to do Arkham Origins in a church?
Can't cover myself.
No, you can't. You have no protection from me.
Apparently.
Well, it's a church that I used to go to more before we moved to Lancaster. I still know most of the people in the church pretty well and enjoy seeing them occasionally. So it was just a few phone calls to my old pastor to say, hey, is it possible to film in this church?
And a few promises that we weren't going to do anything too crazy or evil or blah, blah, blah.
Yes. For example, promise that Batman was not going to actually blow up the church at the end.
Or
Which we violated, of course.
True.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, the church is no longer standing anymore. So.
Yes. Oops.
Yeah. Things happen.
Is off, or the sound is laggy, or the video is laggy, and I was just checking to see if I could see any of those problems so that I could figure out a way to fix them for you guys, but they're not appearing on my computer, so I can't diagnose what I can't see. Sorry.
Happy Wheels, the musical. I like to watch the Let's Plays that somebody like Toby Turner does of Happy Wheels. Those are fun. That's a song I make when I'm scrolling.
I see.
The scrolling song. Blue Champ question. You can go ahead and read this one since I've made too many ears bleed here today.
Sure. I've noticed that you guys seem especially fond of hurting baby dolls. K-Rule, stabbing kids. Nothing is true, and stuff like that. What is your beef against children?
That beef, man.
Yeah, that was a bad beef.
Superb.
I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say that was a perb beef.
No, that beef went bad.
Beef.
That was better beef.
Beef.
What's your beef against children?
I have no beef against children. I have a beef against. I have a beef against creepy baby dolls, though. Oh wait, where is it? Oh, it's in your bathroom.
Yeah.
You have a creepy baby doll in
Don't
your
ask
bathroom.
why it's in my bathroom.
Because of the bird. The bird put it there. She thought it'd be funny and creepy if he just woke up in the middle of the night, went to the bathroom, and there was a creepy baby sitting on his toilet watching him.
Was that the incident where she included the blood running down his
neck?
neck?
There was an incident where she hung it from the ceiling, so you walk right into it.
Yeah,
when
that
you
was
came out
good
of your
too.
room, but,
yeah, there was also the incident where she lit it on fire.
That happened too. That was an accident though.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have no beef against children. I like children. I think children are awesome. So and especially the conversations you have with them. Like the last time I was talking to a group of kids, we were discussing becoming bank robbers. And that's you can't have that conversation with adults. You get arrested if you talk about being a bank, but it's with a bunch of kids. Then it's you're talking about tying up your mask and blowing up buildings and stuff. And no one bats an eye. They're okay with it. That's how the world should be. You should be able to talk about blowing stuff up and stealing from people, and that should be okay.
I find children to be a cringeworthy necessary evil to humanity. I'm a great person. I don't know why I don't like children, but they annoy me to no end.
It's because they're illogical.
That's probably true. I mean, humans just in general are. Adults are totally illogical too. But
yes,
the children are on another level of illogical that just baffles me.
But that's why I find them so much fun. I love having those conversations.
That's why I hate you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Conversations that make no sense that you just keep going with because they insist that it's important.
Yeah.
You know, how to tie your bank robber bandana over your face and
Okay.
stuff. I'm yeah, I'm all about that. Let's talk about that. That's an important issue to get straight. You don't want to march into a bank with your bandana sagging around your chin. That's stupid. That's stupid. You look like you have a funny beard. Got to do it right. Do it right or don't do it at all when you rob banks. Let's see. What other things? Oh, eardrums are now broken. That's probably my fault. Homestuck
Probably.
the musical.
Oh, boy.
AKA the death of our channel, as Rice Baby Trend says.
Yes.
Hi, Ari. I'm from Australia. I woke up early to hang out with you. Well, hi. Good to see you here. Welcome. Good morning. Sorry for waking you up early, but pleasure to have someone from down under here. Well, as we like to say in America, down under.
Actually, I think we just call it Australia.
Got somebody from down under here.
Usually, we just call
I
it
know. I
Australia.
was just making fun of him now. I'm just insulting him. Or her. I didn't even get a chance to look at the name.
Amazing.
You were looking for something in the comments. What were you looking for?
I'm just going down to.
Okay.
Okay. I'll do it your way because every time it confuses you.
Well,
There.
I just
Your way.
Yeah, thanks. Peter has the singing voice of an angel, says Nimadri.
It's not even a question.
But that's why I didn't sing it. Just
Okay.
wanted to tell you.
Fair enough.
You have the voice of an angel.
Okay.
Take it, man.
Thanks.
Oh,
I'll take my voice.
Yes. Question from Steve's son. Would you ever like to be a parent? Harder question. When? Would you ever like to be a parent? Harder question. When?
No.
No and never. Or no or always.
For clarification, I at this moment I cannot imagine myself wanting to be a parent or being a good parent. As such, I should not be a parent and therefore will not be a parent until such time as I can see myself being a good parent and enjoying being a parent, at which point I will reconsider my viewpoint on becoming a parent.
Yes.
You can see why I don't like children.
Come in! Payday! Yes! We're gonna open up our checks on camera.
Money.
Why did I get a check? Oh, I guess they sent it.
Thanks, Bird.
Yay. So anyway, that got distracting. I don't know that I'm gonna be ready to be a parent anytime soon.
And whatever this is.
Yay!
That's garbage.
I love garbage. Parenting is not something I think I'm ready for, just because I'm too much like a child myself.
And I dislike child too much. Children.
That's why you hate me. Exactly. Yep. However, I am gonna be an uncle. My sister just gave me the news over Christmas, so I guess that's good. Means I get to play with a child.
Uncle
It
AJ.
sounds like something you should never do. Don't play with children.
Get.
I was gonna say, but children can play with you, but then I was like, no, just no. Anyway, yay! I could totally be an uncle, but not like a dad yet.
Gotcha.
But I'm not against the idea of being a dad someday. So, just I'm a little too young still. Star Fox the musical would be awesome, and I agree with Nima. I gotta figure out how to say that. Nimad Ryan. Can I just say that?
Nimadrian?
Okay, Nimadrian.
Sounds better, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but
Nimadrian.
Think Deep is correct. They've said they want to do a Star Fox musical, but they want to make sure they can do a good job on it.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Star Fox could be a fairly expensive musical and very difficult costumes, and it could be really, 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 really awesome. So we're waiting until we actually can get it done. Well.
Also, Think Deep is also very accurate when they say that Peter seems to do much better with opera. Not exactly my thing. Actually, singing is not exactly my thing either. All right, Steve versus Son. Okay. Dudes, we've seen you in many frilly things before. Being that you live with a girl, have you ever stolen her clothes? Perhaps tried them on a few times.
No, I haven't, actually.
I don't think we have. Now, she donated some of her stuff when she first came here that she didn't want anymore. And she said, well, you guys have a giant costume closet right behind us. We can hypothetically move this. Is this safe to turn around?
It is.
They can look at the costume closet.
But, like, okay.
Large size female stuff. Which one are you looking at? Oh, do you want to read that one?
Sure. You guys ever played Deus Ex Human Revolution? If so you think it would make a good musical?
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, we got really hot on the jokes about what's his face?
Adam Jensen.
Yeah.
I never asked for this.
And apparently the dialogue from the first game was even funnier with the bad performances.
Yeah, there was some really bad dialogue in the first game.
Yeah, so honestly, doing a bad dialogue musical based on Deus Ex would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And we did talk about, like, a whole song about Adam Jensen just saying things like, I never asked for this, or like,
I've been known to get angry.
Yeah, I've been known to get angry.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I love some of the things
The game itself is really fun, though, honestly.
I make more fun of him than he probably deserves.
Yeah.
So. If you guys, though, have other games you want to know if we've played before, go ahead and throw them in the comments right now, because we get tons of those and we don't answer them frequently. So go ahead and throw them at us right now. If you have a game you want to know or input on, go ahead and put it in the comments and we'll tell you all that we know about it. Meanwhile, I see 2 cool questions right in a row.
Okay.
So I'm going to go straight down to Blue Girl CCC. Question. What are your thoughts on Canadians? I like them. They seem like okay people. Eh?
I don't really have thoughts
They seem like good people, eh?
I have a friend who's Canadian.
Yeah, several friends probably that are Canadian.
Mega Steak Man is Canadian. He's a friend.
There are probably several Canadians on here right now that we're friends with, kind of.
Probably.
Yeah. We're your friends now.
So, yeah, I have no thoughts on Canadians.
I think Canadians are pretty thumbs up. I like Canadians. And I used to live like 4 hours from the Canadian border in New York, so Canada. That's a place. Canada, and it's my favorite.
And the Down Under, however you said it.
Down Under.
Yeah.
That's how they talk. That's how they talk in Australia. They talk kind of like this, which is what everybody thinks Americans talk like.
True.
Americans talk like this.
America.
Yeah. And then the second question. You can...
But I'm not 13. All right. I'm 13 and I'm writing a novel. Any advice?
Advice for Joel the Phoenix?
Yes. You don't want my advice.
I'll give you advice then.
Okay.
All right. So keep at it. Just like make it like a thing that you do constantly.
And don't go to school for it.
Yeah. And try not to second guess yourself too much either, because somebody like me, I freeze up hardcore and I'll stop writing. Sorry for touching your foot. That was kind of weird. I did it again and again and again and again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's got really weird around here. 13 years old and writing a novel. I think you should give yourself some slack and not hold yourself to like it has to be perfect on the first try. And that doesn't mean you're not going to do it perfect on the first try. It just means don't get too hung up and sit there staring at a blank screen forever when you could just be moving on to a chapter that you're really excited about or a part of the story that's really exciting. So
I'm going to adjust that a little bit. You won't do it perfect on your first try, or your second, or your third, or your fifth, or your 10th. Perfection is not something to be achieved, ever.
All right, fine. It might be good enough on your first try, though.
It might be.
And I reject the perspective that it can't be good enough on your first try.
Sure, I agree.
Because people will tell you that about everything.
Yes.
But I'm like, well, then you would never have such a thing as luck, and beginner's luck specifically, and you never have such a thing as potentially just talent.
Yeah.
Like those things do exist, and you can do a good job on your first try of something, a good enough job.
I agree.
Yeah. So don't let people tell you that whatever you do the first time will never be good enough.
But also don't let anyone tell you that your work is perfect, because it's not.
Yeah. And so take it all that with a grain of salt. But if you keep working at it. And just plug away at it and make it almost like a job for yourself. When I was 13, I was writing as well, so that actually speaks to me a lot. And my
when I
writing.
was 13, I was writing music.
Yeah. I look back and I think it wasn't very good now, but at the time it seemed very good, especially for a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
And so, don't hold yourself to some sort of crazy standard. Just be proud of yourself that you're, taking the bull by the horns, and making something happen. So do what you can, and good luck with it. Sounds awesome. What else? What is your? Sorry. I'll sing that. Oh, what?
What?
You should. Nate wants to battle. Says you should collab with Nate wants to Scrabble.
Once and Scrabble.
Wants to Scrabble. Probably we should do a Scrabble Let's Play with Nate.
Oh yeah, that's good.
That would be awesome, Nate. If you want to do a Scrabble Let's Play with us. And Nate wants to Scrabble Let's Play with us, then we would totally Let's Play Scrabble with you.
Nice.
Are we allowed to put that on YouTube?
I don't know.
I have no idea about what you can do.
I assume so.
We'll have two cameras. We'll have one over Nate's shoulder and one over our shoulder, showing what our letters are, so that you have a 2-cam perspective of the same
And
day.
you can find out how stupid we are for not
Exactly.
knowing what... Oh, well...
We'll do it live stream. We can live stream this so that people can give their input. Like, no, play the whatever. Oh, you had the word fox. You should have played that. That'll be awesome. We should totally do that.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah, we should totally do that.
Hi, Nate.
Hi, Nate. Sorry, I didn't
We
have my
loved your
phone on me.
Magikarp video, Nate. Everyone,
Yeah, if you didn't
go
see
to
it.
Nate Wants to Battle, his channel. He made a Magikarp parody of Wrecking Ball, and he asked permission to basically design his Magikarp costume based on ours, and it's beautiful.
Looked very good, yeah.
It's beautiful.
It was a good Magikarp.
So go and
if you want to go watch Wrecking Ball, the way it was meant to be, the original way Wrecking Ball should have been with Miley Cyrus, then go to Nate Wants to Battle's channel and watch his Magikarp version of the song. And his voice is really good too. He should be singing these and out performing. And I'll just lip sync.
I like that.
I'll lip sync to his voice.
It's good.
Earthbound musical or Chrono Trigger the musical? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I should probably do those. That's pretty good. Let's see. What is your? I'm sorry. Smiling sass. What is your favorite Pokemon to dress up as for your videos? It's all done. You can come on now.
No, I can't.
I get a lot like goofier when I'm Clefairy. Pikachu, I can be pretty Clefairy. I can be pretty goofy as Pikachu, but Pikachu is a lot more like normal. It's easier to act more serious as Pikachu than Clefairy. It's really hard to actually like make responsible decisions when you're Clefairy. So if you guys want a way to lighten up sometime, like rather than like going out drinking or like doing drugs or something, just dress up as Clefairy and your whole night will just start going downhill immediately.
And
all your inhibitions go away because
everyone
you're just
around
like,
you will hate you.
Because you're just like, hey, my only job now is to be
Don't
ridiculous.
drink and be a Clefairy.
Probably also good.
That was a mistake.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll go with Clefairy. I think Clefairy is fun to dress up as. However, I have gotten to be Pikachu plenty. And was I a different one too? Probably Eevee's a fun one. You can be Eevee, and then you can just hang out at the bar, and everybody thinks you're awesome.
I don't know if you've dressed as another Pokemon.
Ooh, or I could be mistaken for Dodger.
I don't think you have.
That'd be pretty good. Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't been on another Pokemon.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh well. Yeah, let us know in the comments if you think we should try being other Pokemon. It's kind of like seeing other people, being other Pokemon. 2 in a row here. 3 in a row, actually. You want to read Steve vs. Song?
Sure. If I had tons of money, I don't know how to. I don't know the rest
you
of the
were
song.
king of the forest.
I'd go back to university and take a bunch of random degrees. Where was I? If I was getting too excited for. Anyway, if you went back just for fun, what would you choose? What would you like to take?
Classes, education.
Yes,
what
education.
Are you interested in learning?
Actually, I was talking about this just last night with AJ.
These are New Year's goals for you.
Yeah, instead of going back to school, I'm actually just going to learn them through online sources. But I would, if in fact I were going back to school, I would take courses on trigonometry, calculus, bunch of math. Any amount of programming would be more than I have knowledge on, so I would definitely take that. And from there, I would probably end up taking visual effects, like special effects, courses. I don't know, all of those things. But specifically this year, I'm trying to learn enough math because I've run into, when doing these musicals, I oftentimes actually need trigonometry. Don't ask why, it's a long story. But I end up needing trigonometry and sometimes calculus and not having it, and so I have to go through really slow ways of figuring out my problems. So, I'd rather be able to do those things.
Yes. I don't really want to go take more classes again, so I probably won't. Because I don't like learning. But if I were going to, the 2 subjects that I definitely could use more training on would be CG animation, because that would help me a lot if I could just go in and animate, or help Peter animate 3D characters and stuff like that. So I have all the right ideas behind animation, and I can like time it and get the looks and stuff, but I don't have the technical skills to actually make it happen generally unless it's 2D. And even that I'm not fast enough or the tricks for. So that I can use a lot more training on for the tech. And also some formal music training wouldn't hurt me either because I don't really have it. So other than knowing some music stuff from playing in like high school band and then like singing just naturally, I don't have much. So could use
Dooms.
I think what you'll see is that is a great idea that we want to move forward with, but we're not going to sacrifice musicals or some new cool ideas for visual effects and stuff like that in order to do more vloggy kind of stuff. So
I think you'll see that stuff once we actually like break out. You know what I mean by break out? Like our channel is 40,000 people strong, which is pretty great, but it's not a giant channel. It's not a channel that's pulling in enough money to live on and to not go to work.
Once we're done with our side jobs and we can focus on YouTube full time again, we'll have all week to be able to take a day every week or something,
right?
And pull out a costume from the costume closet and walk you guys through making it. And I think that'd be an awesome video. I think you guys will have fun doing it. I'll have fun doing it. We have a ton of costumes to walk through with you guys. So it'll happen, but maybe not this year. It depends on whether or not we can get sustainable enough so that we don't have to split ourselves in too many directions. So musicals first and the other stuff we're trying to do before we start delving into cool experimental projects like costumes. So we'll see what we can do, though. I think it'd be fun. Yeah, you go ahead and ask about that.
I don't even know anything about this.
Oh, well, Sonic Lost World. Somebody... Hawkpath. What do you think? What do you guys think of Sonic Lost World?
I already told you.
Yeah. I
I don't know anything about it.
It's basically Mario Galaxy.
Okay.
That's not a bad thing. Mario Galaxy is an awesome game. So if you like that style, it's 3D Sonic, but it's kind of enhanced and it's more streamlined for like forward and less about exploration, I guess. It seemed pretty cool. So I would definitely take a look at it.
Gotcha. What is Nate referring to? Sorry, guy, his heart. Did he say something a little earlier?
Oh, he took over the chat.
Oh, I see.
Yes. How do I carp? How do I carp? How do I carp? How do I carp? Lol, Nate. How do I carp?
Thanks, Nate.
Nate!
We love you too. He really did. Oh my goodness. We didn't see any of those comments.
Yes. Be
Outstanding.
a Jigglypuff and bounce around as a balloon.
Brilliant.
Like my picture.
I think AJ kind of does that, like, randomly anyway.
So much fun. Bounce around, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, like a balloon.
Yeah. There it goes.
Gina just received a Nintendo Care package.
Really?
And she has, like, these amazing Kirby, like, adorable Kirby shirts and, like, Kirby everything.
Oh.
She just got tons and tons of Kirby. It's ridiculous.
I want Kirby
I was
stuff.
really jealous. You'll see it on Facebook.
Yeah, I do want that. Oh, this is a question for me, I guess.
Yeah.
From Stibbers' son. Question: did the liquor burn? Oh, did the liquor burn the first time going down? Was that the first time that you drank? Peter, what was your first experience with the devil's juice? That means beer or alcohol.
I was gonna say.
It's all the same to me. So if it's got
totally
liquor
different.
in it,
It's totally different.
Beer, it's alcohol.
It's totally
I call
different.
it ale.
Okay.
Ales.
You have to answer first.
Oh. What?
Enter.
Blaze, Miss Bird.
I have a mailbox, and it's pretty.
Oh, that's pretty. Can we show show the mailbox?
If you want.
Oh, it's got an RE sticker on it. Can you guys see this?
That will fall off.
Can you guys see the mailbox that we
Yes,
have?
they can.
That's a beautiful mailbox. Miss Bird
That
just
is
put
beautiful.
up our mailbox.
Thanks for making a mailbox for us.
Yay!
The mailman was really, like, violent and ripped off pieces of our mail slot.
This is why we should vlog again, so we can go out and show our ugly mail slot, like just the hole in the side of our house where the mail is
It was a
supposed to go
problem.
through.
It was a problem.
Wait, do we have a beam of wood so I can nail up that hole in the wall?
In the spider-infested garage, we have lots of wood.
What we could do is at some
I
point
hate you, Peter.
we should get some sort of like a plaster thing or something like that and actually fill it rather than just covering it, maybe. I don't know exactly how, but we'll look that up sometime when we're not live streaming. Do you want to join? Okay.
I'm just a paperweight. I'll go.
Okay.
You were answering the question.
Yeah, sorry. What?
Liquor.
Yes, it was kind of gross and burned a little bit. The first time that I drank actually was not then. I have had maybe 3 or 4 drinks in my life. The first time I drank was at Thanksgiving. Peter's family came to visit, and so we kind of all had Thanksgiving together. and we made grog and played Settlers of Catan. And that grog was horrible.
Yeah, it was.
It was absolutely
pretty bad.
dreadful.
It's pretty bad.
I made it my goal to drink the entire cup, but it's kind of like that bacon soda that the bird got
Yeah.
for us. It was so bad that it was not worth. I like that, and that's good.
That would be good.
Visual
Visual effects shoot.
Yep, Clefairy fans. Let's see. How about a Ditto musical as Super Sancha? That could work. I could work with that. All right, Ethan Dean brings up
Something on our list of things that we wanted to
yes,
discuss.
something that according to Facebook we were going to talk about today. So we'll talk about it today. Ethan Dean asks, you do it. You do it.
Where's the extra information on the Smash Brotherhood videos?
Beautiful. Nice addition. So yeah, on Facebook we asked which of the upcoming projects you guys wanted to know a little bit more about, and the project that was brought up the most was the Smash Brotherhood. Yeah, which I wish we had better information about. Previously, after episode 1 came out, people were starting to ask what's the deadline for the next episode, and we said probably early 2014. We'll just try to get through the holidays. At this point, we're kind of in an impasse. We have to make a decision. We either need to sacrifice the fact that we're going to lose time on more important projects that are bigger viewership, maybe with other YouTubers, things like that, in order to spend that time on a Smash Brotherhood video that ends up getting, unfortunately, 10 to 15,000 views, instead of trying to do, say, a Pokemon University 100,000 view kind of song. Or we have to stop and we have to do some sort of a Kickstarter for it so that we can actually work on it full time and make sure that it gets done the way it needs to be done and the way we want it to get done. That said, I figure we can probably give you guys at least some information about what we're doing currently for furthering that storyline and what kinds of ideas we want to end up doing.
Because I know that we've done a few musicals now that you would have expected there to be some kind of mention of the Smash Brotherhood. Wind Waker, the Mario song, or the Flagpole song, even theoretically Pokemon University could have,
yeah.
And obviously we haven't. So, where did that go is the big question, obviously. And it's not gone. It's just that, Wind Waker was for Nintendo, so we didn't want to complicate that.
Into it. And, wonder whether Konami was going to like it or whether Nintendo was going, hey, you can't do that.
So, there have been reasons why we haven't put any in. But we have a musical coming up that will incorporate a little snippet of the Smash Brotherhood that is going to actually tie a number of musicals together that is really exciting. And the beautiful thing is it will also pull Flagpole into the Smash Brotherhood, theoretically. Not Flagpole himself, just the video itself will, by the end of this next musical, be part of that universe.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen the Flagpole song, that's the newest one that we just put up on the 31st. And that featured actually the band Random Encounter. Not to get all side topic-y, but so if you've ever heard of them, they're very cool and you should check out their music, and they did a song for that one for us. So going back to the Smash Brotherhood here, as we said, we've had to kind of neglect it a little bit. We can track it all the way back to the Yoshi song. If you guys remember the Yoshi song, we started a second timeline, and I don't think we've actually ever officially explained what was going on. So at this point, might as well, I guess. Sure. Obviously, we went back in time for the Yoshi song to when Mario's a baby and Solid Snake is younger, and there's this entire setup that was coming from the Yoshi song, which began the Smash Brotherhood web series. Unfortunately, before the Yoshi song, there was the Eevee song. And if you go back to the Eevee song, we end with adult Solid Snake. I mean, they're both adults, but older Solid Snake fighting a wireframe at the end of it. And it was a cliffhanger ending. So we've had these two different timelines to continue.
That are both on cliffhangers right now.
Yes, and figuring out how to move forward with both of them is difficult. So the musical that we're working on now for either the end of this month or beginning of February that Peter referenced comes back to the older Solid Snake's era, but it's still not furthering from the cliffhanger. It's actually filling in details that will link the two timelines more together. So
yeah.
I hate to be that vague, but that's what's going down, and you'll at least feel satisfied knowing that, there's a better bridge between the stuff with Yoshi and the Smash Ball and the stuff with Solid Snake recruiting people. So you're going to start to get that stuff solved together. Unfortunately, continuing Yoshi's storyline and like moving the whole, original story forward is going to take more time. So I don't know if we're going to start a Kickstarter. I don't know if we're going to sacrifice some other projects to make Smash Brothers Hood happen. I do want to make sure that before the Smash Bros. Wii U comes out that we have gotten to a satisfactory place to either do a longer like musical based on it or something like that. So.
Unfortunately, it is also possible that just won't be able to happen by the Smash Brothers Wii U.
Yeah, we might have to cut some weird corners and leave some things kind of. In the perfect world, we will end up with like an entire movie, like a feature film of Smash Brothers, and that's what we want to do, and that would be a lot of fun.
And honestly, the story that we've developed, we could just make an entire feature film based on that story.
It would take like the entire year. It would be awesome, but I don't know if our viewership would back it up.
Right.
And unfortunately, we have to do what most viewers want. And what most viewers want, not necessarily you guys, but...
Happening, we're trying to get Katie Wilson from the Console Wars musical to star as Derpy Hooves, which would be fantastic. So that's in the works. We're working with Sherklop Pones,
who has done Friendship is Witchcraft.
Yes.
So we've been in several meetings with him about helping us with the song for it, actually. So if this happens, and if you guys like My Little Pony stuff, then you will potentially be getting random encounters from the Brony song and Sherklop Pones from Friendship is Witchcraft. Friendship is Witchcraft. Teaming up on a My Little Pony Derpy Hooves musical, which I think, should have happened. We're hoping to make this, it's not going to be based on a song from the show. So this would basically be like the love letter fan-made episode for Derpy Hooves that you would get from Random Encounters and Sherklop Pones.
Yes.
Hopefully what we end up with is what people imagine a good Hasbro like song for Derpy Hooves would end up being. So that's what we're going for. And it has a cool little cute story to it. So it'll be original. So anyway, moving on. More questions.
That top one.
By the way, we are going to be reading through a bunch of old questions as well today. We said we're going to go on for 2 hours today.
Yes.
And
we're already past 1 hour.
Okay, so actually we're going to have to start doing that soon. But I have my Clefairy pants. Actually, these are like the tights from the last episode. Usually I wear pants. But I decided the tights would tie up better on the bottom. So we'll pull our questions out of these tights.
I see.
In a couple minutes. Let's wrap up a few more of these first.
Let's see here. I just burped. Sorry. Did you guys ever have a childhood crush on a cartoon character? Did you have a cartoon crush on a childhood character?
I don't know.
Wait,
probably.
A childhood crush on a cartoon character, sorry.
Yes.
I swapped the...
A cartoon
Childish
crush on
and
a
cartoon,
childhood
yes.
character? Ooh.
Yikes.
Well, when I was young, I watched Ninja Turtles, and I liked April O'Neil, but I don't know that I'd call it a crush. It was more like I wanted to be just friends with her. I was like, April O'Neil's pretty cool.
Gotcha.
So
I didn't watch cartoons
yeah.
that I remember. I have these big gaping holes in my memory from childhood that friends of mine from back then will occasionally fill in, so I don't actually know if I watched any cartoons or not. Like, I don't have any recollection of watching Sesame Street, but apparently I loved Sesame Street. And
you still do.
So
he has no memories of like.
Therefore, if I had a childhood crush on a cartoon character, I don't remember.
Yeah, the closest recently would. I was gonna say there's got to be some from anime that I've seen that are kind of cute. It's which is the scary girl from Sergeant Frog? She's kind of cute. No, she's not. I'm sorry.
You would not want to date her though.
Not Momika. I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't date either of them, but they're both cute in their own ways. Whatever his older sister is, the one that calls him Toad all the time.
I don't remember.
We haven't watched Sergeant Frog in nearly recent enough history.
Yeah.
Actually, when I watched Is This a Zombie series, there's a necromancer in that's cute as well. Actually, there's also the magical girl in that. I can't remember any of these characters' names. But as I said, anime girls tend to be cuter and maybe more dateable than say
Momika is
like
not
the
dateable.
Chipettes or things like cartoon characters. So April O'Neil, I guess, is still human at least. But anyway, sorry, that was probably a dissatisfying answer.
Very likely.
For video game characters, I always thought Princess Peach and Princess Zelda were cute.
Why would you
I would date either of them.
Princess Peach? I guess maybe now she's
a little
she
ditzy.
does things other than get
She's
kidnapped.
like Pinkie Pie, sort of, but more human.
Okay.
And she's also not nearly as funny. But I think if Nintendo wanted to, they could make an animated like series with like Peach teaming up with like Samus and Zelda. I really want to do this. So if Nintendo is listening right now, please hire me to do this because I want to do this. I want to make like a girl force of like their primary like female characters and have them basically become like these like superhero team of like Peach and Zelda and Samus, where they go out and like solve these video game world like disasters that like are threatening the universe of Nintendo.
Specifically, derivatives in calculus are really useful in converting things to velocity and acceleration. So when you're animating things, sometimes knowing velocity and acceleration information is extremely important in generating a more realistic animation. I'm done.
Oh yeah, ditto. That's what I think too. All right, old question from a past live chat. Steve versus son. What kind of random videos do you watch on YouTube that we wouldn't expect you to? You probably couldn't see that at all. Either way.
Random videos.
What kind of random videos do we watch? I'm sorry, I'm supposed to read that in operatic voice. What kind of random videos do you watch on YouTube that we might not expect of you?
The problem's the whole expect part.
Well, you watch a lot of cat videos when they come up. You don't go seeking them, but if there's a cat video...
Why would you not expect people to watch cat videos?
Well, I don't know.
That's my issue, is the whole expect part.
So we're pretty predictable is the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are kind of. Everything you think we watch, we probably watch.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, fewer things.
True.
Yes.
I mean,
But
for me, I watch
crazy.
visual effects tutorials, and I watch music videos of, nerdy musicians like Taylor Davis and Violin.
Then how about this? What was the last YouTube video you watched that you think was unusual that they wouldn't have guessed you watched? For me,
the armadillo one.
Oh, that's great. Yes. Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Explain it.
Who were they?
I forgot the channel.
Oh.
But
if you Google search or YouTube search facts about armadillos, I think it was.
Something like that.
We watched that at work randomly because at work we're trying to like make this new mascot for the company called the Affadillo. And so anytime we see anything about an armadillo, we're like, oh, armadillo.
Yes.
And we click it.
We have to watch things that have armadillos in
Yeah.
them. That's like a thing that we just make our job.
Yeah.
So, yeah. They've done a number of those. They did, like I said, one about the sea pig or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they, I think, have done diary entries from like dogs and cats. It's a pretty cool channel. Their stuff is really funny. But yeah, so that was the last one that you watched that was unexpected. The last thing I watched that was unexpected... I somewhat recently watched, this is not completely unexpected, but I found it on Dorkly. It was a rant by like an 11-year-old kid or something like that about Sonic fans. And he was angry that Sonic fans like Sonic Adventure games and want more Sonic Adventure games. And he kept like throwing things and stuff like that, acting like super angry. When he threw them, he'd like throw them really like gently into like piles of clothes and stuff so that like they wouldn't break. And he'd like kick his door, but he'd like stop at the last second, just kind of like dink and like barely touch it and stuff. And then he just like, and he was shrieking like, it was like one of the worst rant videos I've seen in my life. And Sparrow wanted me to turn it off really badly, but I couldn't stop watching it. It was like, I was like fixated on like, I have to finish this video and prove that I'm a man by watching a boy throw a hissy fit about Sonic fans. Granted, Sonic fans can be aggravating, but not like this kid. This kid was one of the worst Sonic fans I think I've ever seen. If he was a Sonic fan, I don't know. Hard to tell. Anyway, I also watched a video that was, I think, based on one of the FIFA games of how broken their physics was. And again, this might be kind of on the side of expected because it's video game based, but it's a sports game. So, and I thought that was really funny. They had some crazy music playing. These
I have very bad memories from Monkey Ball.
And then the viewership really didn't.
And then the viewership didn't.
Our subscribers weren't a
perk me
big
up at
fan
all.
of Monkey Ball. And neither was apparently the rest of the
I
internet.
guess it was great that Sega paid us, though.
Yes.
So thank you, Sega.
It was nice of Sega to provide the opportunity. Are not big enough Monkey Ball fans generally to go out of our way to do more Monkey Ball stuff. Especially given how many other games, if I were going to do like another Sega project, I would kill to go back to either Rhythm Thief or Sonic the Hedgehog. And obviously they have a number of other amazing series that I'd like to do as well, but
Echo the Dolphin.
not that one. But I would totally, if they do a sequel to Rhythm Thief, that would be a ton of fun to do another Rhythm Thief thing, because the music from that game is so good. But I'd also jump straight into another Sonic project with or without Sega's blessing, as long as they don't shut us down. As long as they're okay with us doing Sonic the Hedgehog stuff. I like doing Sonic stuff as well.
Nintendo ambassadorship.
Oh yes, we are supposed to talk about that. And that
Yes.
was a great question by Rice Baby Trend. Thank you. And again, we post poll questions for you guys to kind of participate in the chat before it happens. For example, to pick out like costumes for us to wear and stuff like that. On Facebook. So go look us up on Facebook at facebook.com/gamemusicals. One of the questions that we posted was, what about 2013 do you guys want to know the most about? And one of the options was Nintendo ambassadorship, because we're now Nintendo ambassadors. So Rice Baby Tran asked, what about Nintendo ambassadors?
Nintendo ambassadors?
Nintendo ambassadors! Yes. Nintendo ambassadorship was a new thing for 2013 that we got right at the end of the year, and was awesome because we spent several years doing Nintendo stuff and never got ambassadorship. Nintendo ambassadorship is basically they take YouTubers or popular bloggers or things like that, and they kind of sponsor them to do Nintendo related things based on new games or systems that Nintendo is coming out. So it's kind of promotion for Nintendo, and it's, you know, free stuff or support or even the rights to cover Nintendo stuff to these specific, you know, handpicked YouTube people and such. So that was us this year. We got to join that program. You want to explain how we got
Yeah, sure.
the opportunity?
So you may remember back during the beginning of Pokemon University when it actually got shut down by YouTube Legal because of because they didn't feel comfortable with us posting it
Without Nintendo's permission.
Without Nintendo's permission. So basically we went around and we were trying to figure out how to become a Nintendo ambassador, because we were like, okay, that's going to help or solve our case. And eventually we found the company that we needed to talk to, and when we talked to them, they said, oh, wow, you're Random Encounters. You are on our short list for a project that we're going to be doing in November. We were about to contact you about becoming an ambassador so that you can do what we found out later was this Wind Waker project. So technically, we fast-tracked becoming a Nintendo ambassador because of the craziness that went on with Pokemon U, but in the end, the company was about to contact us anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so that's what they told us.
Yeah.
So yeah, now that we're Nintendo ambassadors, we've been, you know, getting some of the emails about the other, you know, projects that they're doing. They did some stuff for A Link Between Worlds that you can go check out right now. I forget what it's called. It's like a campfire thing where they have several
Right.
YouTubers who kind of share some of their like thoughts about the game and the weapons and stuff like that, and they'll make like Nintendo or Zelda themed treats and stuff. It's pretty cool. I know they're already starting up on promotion for Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, which is gonna be an awesome game, by the way. So I don't know what we're doing next with Nintendo, but I know that I'm interested in whatever it is.
Yes.
So yeah, I forgot that there was a second half of this question that we asked, which was, which of your videos would you like to do sequels to?
Gotcha.
Of our videos, which ones?
Smash Brotherhood. Done.
Smash Brotherhood. There you go.
I don't know if that counts because it's not officially musical, but
What about Princess Peach?
I mean, yeah.
Hint, 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 hint. That's your hint alarm. It just went off.
Good job.
Yeah, a Princess Peach sequel could be a good thing for our channel.
Maybe, yeah.
Get Angie Viper back in on our channel.
Maybe, yeah.
Something with the Smash Brotherhood on our channel.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Personal projects that'd be fun to have a sequel to. Like I said, Rhythm Thief would be fun to do a follow-up to. I would love to do like a longer Rhythm Thief thing too. I would not be so opposed to a Monkey Ball sequel if we had a better way of making it. If they went out and got us giant balls to roll around in,
Right.
I'd be A-okay doing a follow-up video, but it probably would just be like a song in balls or something like that. Those are, I think, the primary. Oh, Zelda, of course, always. I feel like there's so many good Zelda games.
But I don't really count those as sequels.
Yeah, they're kind of
They're in the same
separate.
universe, but they're not really sequels.
Yes. Now, we should note that when we made the Wind Waker song that we did in November, we called it Legends of Zelda because we'd like to do an entire series called Legends of Zelda, Tales of whatever, or something like that, Story of the whatever. That way we can go through and for every Zelda game, basically give it its own song in the Legends of Zelda series, where we kind of expand on what the storyline actually was. So Zelda will always get more love from us, I think, because there's just so many good games already out there.
And Ganondorf will probably make an appearance in every single one.
Yeah, every one of them. Even if he's not in the game.
Exactly.
I think Ganondorf has to show up.
Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah. So those are, I think, the primary ones that we're thinking of that we'd like to do sequels to someday. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
Play more. Do you want to pull one out of Clefairy's pants?
Nope. I don't want to touch there. I do not want to touch Clefairy's junk.
Hey, these have been washed. You know, in the manga, you get all sorts of...
Whoa. Let's see here.
Oh, this is one that I...
There's something about bacon now. I don't know.
Bacon.
And muffins. Lots and lots of muffins. All the muffins. In the
Okami
world.
musical. That could be
Yes.
cool. There should be a full new Sing-a-Fairy. We don't know. We're not good enough friends with Nintendo. Know when Pokemon Bank will be released. By the way, Poke Triforce. But sorry, that would be interesting knowledge to have. All right, this is an old question from Yami Jaden that was asked in another live chat. If you could travel somewhere, anywhere, where would you go? Where would you go, Peter? A fictitious place? Would you
I'm
go somewhere
yawning.
imaginary?
I'm yawning. Give me a minute.
I'd go to Equestria. I kid you not. I'd go to Equestria and I'd meet ponies. I'd vacation in Equestria. Maybe just move there, actually. They don't seem to have too many responsibilities. And the responsibilities they do have seem to be okay, with the exception of stuff like chasing dragons out of places and stuff. Some of their things are not so good, but for the most part, I think it'd be an okay place to live.
Okay. I'd move to the Batcave.
Ooh, not bad.
Yeah.
Well, does that mean you have to go to Gotham City, and then you have to go find the Batcave?
But, I mean, technically, yes, it means that I have to go to Gotham City. But because Batcave is a place,
All right.
I would go there because...
Okay. Gotham City's not bad.
Well, Gotham City's horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why I said Batcave and
But
not
Batman
Gotham
is
City.
there to protect you, so...
Yeah.
You need to hang out with people. So, it's not bad. It's Los Angeles County, but it is not in the city of Los Angeles anymore. We're kind of on the outskirts. All right. Another old question. Joel the Phoenix. Do you want to read this one?
Sure, but I can't remember words, so I'm not going to share them. Now that I have your attention, what musical was the hardest to shoot, and what musical's your favorite?
Well, I think Monkey Ball might be the hardest to shoot.
To shoot? That was pretty easy to shoot.
Well, it took a couple days unexpectedly. We had to cut chunks of the song.
Mm-hmm. That was just because we were shooting three musicals in a day.
Yeah, and it was a pain in the butt. The Flagpole song was hard to shoot because we were we were trying to get a much better location, and we didn't have much to work with, so it all got kind of made up on the fly. I don't know. The shoots themselves often aren't that bad. Oh, you know what? Wind Waker was really hard to shoot.
Yeah, Wind Waker was hard to shoot.
Wind Waker was almost impossible to shoot. We only had the location, that
4.5
bar.
hours?
Yeah, less, I think, actually. I think it was under 4 hours, maybe.
Yeah.
Because by the time we got in there, it was about 7, and we were out of there before 11, because they started asking around 10:30, are you guys almost done?
Yeah, that was super hard.
I don't know how we did it still. Honestly, it's kind of a miracle that shoot happened. Because, most videos take at least one full day, which is usually at least
8 hours.
8 hours, if not 12. And then, most shoots on the internet, I think, actually can stretch to a second day if they're like something like College Humor or something. And, we did that in literally under 4 hours. So I don't know how. It deserved more time, and it deserved, all these things
More
that we
attention
weren't able
and more
to give
everything. But whatever.
But yeah,
we did that in less than 4 hours.
I don't know how we did, but yeah, you're right. Hands down, the Wind Waker musical was the hardest one to shoot, and I can't believe we actually did it.
Yeah.
Because I did not think we could finish getting through an entire song with like that many people involved in that short time.
And it turned out really decent.
I had to stop and do Ganondorf like makeup in the middle of it and stuff too. Like it's insane that we got that done. So yeah, the Wind Waker musical, hardest musical to shoot.
Yep.
And it's a shame because I would have liked to give that one the most time. I'm like, Wind Waker's like my favorite.
Initially, we were like, okay, we're gonna do a Wind Waker musical. We need like a boat and a giant body of water. it was going to be very different, but yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. Here's a question, really. A couple questions. Desiree Graves, if you were a pony, AJ, would you have Clefairy footprints as your symbol thing? You mean Cutie Mark? No, probably not. I don't know what I'd have. I don't know. I legit don't know. Maybe at some point I liked the idea of putting like the little, you know how like Ray William Johnson had an =3 kind of thing. I tend to use the :3 instead, but that little smiley face, the little cat smiley face, or maybe the little carrot eyes, kind of a smiley face. I would probably have a little smiley face like that was kind of internet-y and stuff. That's probably what I do.
There are a number of questions of whether we've watched the most recent Pony episode, and no, we have not.
No, we'll get to that later, I think. So, ponies. There was another one up above. Up above? No?
Huh? What?
I thought there was one up further.
Oh.
Oh, I know what it was. It was, oh, there you go. We probably answered that one before, but
yeah,
okay.
Sorry, that's why I skipped that one.
Oh, okay. Well, there's one by Joel Phoenix, right?
Because we answer this pretty much every time we ever do anything.
True. Yeah. Favorite gaming franchise or favorite games in general?
Mass Effect series.
Super Mario RPG. Easy peasy.
Mm-hmm.
Although I like Smash Brothers a lot too. Here's an old question that I think is worth asking. This one was from a couple live chats ago. It was Catherine Hoffman who asked it, and she asked, "Will Justice be in any more musicals?" I assume I should add "please" at the end of that. Justice was the rhythm thief, and he was also Baby in the Monkey Ball musical.
Yeah.
So Justice has been in a couple of our musicals.
And he was in a Brony song.
Yeah.
The first Brony?
Justice is a really fun person to work with. He's also a very busy person to work with because he's in college for some sort of like a science, like
botanical
botany or something.
Yeah, something.
So he's kind of in an intense layer of study right now. So getting him in stuff is
very difficult.
Yes. However, Harley, who played Tetra in the Wind Waker musical, was his little sister.
Yep.
So now that we've lost Justice, we've gotten his little sister to be in things instead.
Yay!
Yes. So I think we can get Justice back, especially if we get a chance to do another Rhythm Thief thing. We'll basically do whatever we have to do to have Justice play him again.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I've also offered Justice the chance to be Pitt in a Kid Icarus musical.
Oh, nice.
Because I think he'd be perfect as Pitt as well. Especially if it's a gospel thing, because he's got so much like style. Justice would be perfect for that. So yeah, we have a number of kind of regulars on the channel. Justice was one of them before he had to leave for college. But we'll keep him in mind for all future things. Let's see. Here's another one. This is a pretty good question. It's from Ronnie134730. By the way, if we're reading one of your questions, go ahead and give a shout and say, "Hey, that's mine," or something, or "Hey, I'm here," or whatever like that. So hi if you're here, Ronnie. Ronnie134730 had asked, do you guys have any musicals pre-written? And if so, how many?
One?
Yeah, we do have one. The lyrics aren't done for it, but we do have one song floating around, unless you're thinking of a different one.
I'm thinking the one we're actually about to start working on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking in the terms of how many songs have we done that we never did anything with, or that are sitting around waiting to be used.
Gotcha.
So yes, I guess hypothetically, we have one song right now that has the lyrics but nothing else that we're working on, and then we have another song the music has been written for a while, and some sample lyrics got written, but then we kind of canned them because they needed to be revised. So we don't normally have songs just floating around that we haven't used, but in this case, right now there actually happens to be a couple. So I can't wait to use this piece of music that's been floating around. It's been sitting for like
No difference between Microsoft and Sony's products. There's sure the games are different, but like I don't know, whatever.
You should also know that we do own a Wii U and we do own a PS3. We only own an Xbox.
Not a 360,
so
not a One.
If that's indicative of anything, then
it simply means that we only had
we have not spent money on Microsoft as actually ever, because we were gifted the Xbox.
I buy Windows stuff.
Okay, then you support Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
If that was the question, Microsoft or Sony, then yeah, we have several Windows computers.
Yes.
By the way, they actually want to know that one too.
What? Oh.
I think that's worth putting in.
Okay. Can we hear how Peter is doing from surgery? I'm doing fine from surgery. I mean, some of the details are personal, so I'm not going to really go into exactly what the issues were, but I'm mostly recovered at this point. I mean, I'm not. I say mostly recovered, but none of the issues that I still have are debilitating in any kind of way. Where are you going?
I just want to get my phone.
Okay. So, yeah, that's how I'm doing. I'm not going to share anymore. Sorry, but that's it. New comments. What is 2 plus 2? I don't know what 2 plus 2 is. That's why I want to learn math.
There you go.
Because I have no idea.
136, not bad. All right, you want to read that question?
Oh, this one.
Yes.
Oh. Have you ever tried shaving the beard to find out who it is?
Have we?
We haven't, but the government has tried to shave the beard several times, but he escaped captivity every single time. We're unsure how that happened.
Yeah. I was gonna
So-
say the hardest part is actually not shaving the beard; it's catching the beard.
Yeah.
If you can catch the beard, then shaving the beard is.
Well, I mean, no, like
Makes
they've
sense.
caught him several times, and he's still gotten nailed.
I don't know. They caught him several times, or just once. I don't know.
That's true, just once.
Yeah.
Well, this
They tried several
th-
times.
This government has only caught him once.
Okay.
I'm sure that given
Other
his
governments.
history, there have been other governments who have
Yeah.
also caught him.
Yeah. We actually would love to delve more into the beard someday.
We have an entire super long, interesting storyline that we wanted to do for a while about the beard's origins, but that's probably never gonna happen.
Dear me. Legoland question. How would you feel if the characters in Happy Tree Friends were replaced with the characters from MLP, but the same things happen to them in a normal Happy Tree Friends episode?
I have another boring answer. I've never seen Happy Tree Friends, so I
Really?
have no clue.
Oh, dear me. Happy Tree Friends. Happy Tree Friends, for anybody who needs some background, are these cute little cuddly creatures who get, massacred and maimed in horrific ways. So it's not really for children, although it looks like it is. It looks like it's going to be a cute little thing. And they have horrible things that happen to them. I like ponies way too much. So I would feel very sad, and I would not like it. That, honestly, is closer to the .mov series of ponies that kind of already exists, and that's what that is.
Gotcha.
Except Happy Tree Friends is not very sexualized, and the .mov series is disturbingly sexualized.
True.
So, yeah. I would not like that. I like my ponies the way they are, and I do like Happy Tree Friends for their own reasons and their own ways, but I would not cross them over. Ever. You can't cross streams, man. Alright, here's another one. Oh, I was like, what? A sticky kill question. Here's a sticky kill question from one of the last couple. Or it could be really old. I'm not actually sure. I don't have dates on these. If you could kill see, I already misread it. If you could star in your own original anime, what would it be about?
Dragons.
Dragons? A dragon anime?
We were in development of a
Yeah,
dragon
we
anime at
were.
one
Yeah,
point.
we seriously considered doing an anime at some point and getting some animators and stuff.
There is a story online called... Oh, crap. I don't
You'd
even...
have to star in it, though.
Well, sure.
Yes.
That's fine.
Okay.
What was it called? The Dragon Tyrant, I believe it's called. It's a short story online that has a crazy scientific moral behind it that's really cool. And I really wanted to turn that into this awesome anime about slaying a dragon. And well, obviously that hasn't happened yet. I wanted to kickstart it, blah blah blah, but we just didn't have the right talent for it. We don't have anyone who does the kind of 2D animation that we needed for it. So that never got off the ground, but one day, who knows?
I developed sort of an anime way back when we first met the bird. We were doing it all online. It was called Skunk Pot and Porcumade. And they're basically us, but we had these kind of magical girl transformation versions of ourselves that had all these cool weapons. So Skunk Pot's weapon was a giant skunk tail, and he could gas people horribly. and then Porky-Maid had like these giant spines that came out of her costume. And I was like, oh, that would be awesome. We should totally do that. So Skunk Pot and Porky-Maid.
Okay.
And that'd be an awesome anime to do.
Nice.
Yeah. If you guys still have comments or questions, please go ahead and throw those our way too, because we're trying to balance these. But we do have a ton of Clefairy Pants questions to go through. Oh, this one's not bad. This one's kind of fun.
Okay.
Very interactive. Megan is Music asks, can you do an imitation of all the Mario characters?
Nope, I can't.
But you're gonna try.
I'm horrible with
try?
imitations.
You gonna try right now?
All right.
Okay, so we're gonna do It's a Me Mario. Okay, I'll go first.
It's a me, a Mario. It's a me, a Mario.
You might have done a better one, actually. All right, we're gonna do Luigi now. Okay, try that. That's an easier one than the other Toad voice.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
You're
There we go. The Toad voice that I'm more used to is, of course, the one from the newer games where he's like, okay, yay!
I'm not doing that one.
My favorite one that I like copied was from like Super Mario Sunshine when you first land and they're like covered in the slop. They're like, ew, what's this icky goop-like stuff?
I've never heard you say that.
It's gross. Yeah.
Never heard you say that.
Yahoo! Yeah.
So that's over.
Pretty much. Yeah, I guess so. Wait, we gotta do Thwomp now, okay? Thwomp is the big... That's it? That's your Thwomp?
No, I don't know.
He's more like...
But I was a light. I was a light version.
You're a Thwimp, then.
Ooh, a thwimp.
Thwimps exist, too. They don't really make sounds, though. They're just kind of... They just kind of jump. I know. I'm a Mario guy. Alright. Those were our Mario impressions. Sometime, if you guys have other impressions you want us to try, you can throw them in our way. Oh, here's a question, actually, from somebody. From Hawkpath. Question, what is your opinion on Michael Jackson? I don't know. He's some okay guy. I've been compared with Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I've heard from a good friend of Michael Jackson's that AJ reminds the good friend of Michael Jackson's of Michael Jackson when he was alive. Of course.
Interesting. It was because he said, like, I can see when you talk about, like, you know, doing musicals for, like, you know, shows like Sesame Street or something like that, that you, like, really care about children. And Michael cared a lot about children. So you and Michael Jackson both love children a lot.
Hollywood, man.
And I was like, I don't know if we love children the same way, but we definitely both love children. So
Hollywood.
Yeah. I have no opinions on Michael Jackson other than the fact that I like his music. I listen to a lot of his
he's
music.
really...
Yeah.
Well, he was
And
really talented, and his
feel
dancing
bad
was
'cause
phenomenal.
I do feel bad because I don't think he went crazy like all these other, like, you know, stars that you hear about.
Mm-hmm.
And yet his reputation really got tarnished pretty badly. And who knows whether or not any of it was true. But I feel bad that regardless, he basically lived out, I feel like, the end of his life not in good, you know, physical shape, not in good, probably psychological or emotional state.
And, you know, one of the guy that we were talking about, his friend, says that it was all off base. And, you know, I trust the man, so it's hard to say, but when someone really close to the person gives a fantastic character reference, it's like, I can't complain too much.
I also understand he was an eccentric enough character that I get why people would be uncomfortable with Michael Jackson as a person.
But I
too,
watched This Is It in theaters, and it was just astonishing. And
I didn't know you did that.
Yeah. The guy got tickets for it because the choreographer to the film is also one of his good friends. So yeah, that was really cool. And Jackson's dancing is amazing. I could never... What are you doing? Could never dance like the man. It's beautiful.
Hold these. Clefairy pants. Clefairy pants. Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
For holding those for me.
Yep.
No, Clefairy pants don't spill everywhere on me. All right. There's another Steve vs. Son question from back in the day. Could you tell us here and now, what are the worst kind of comments? What kinds of comments should people not bother to write? For you, it is the very best kind of comment. All right, so let's take that in chunks.
Sure.
Could you tell us here and now what are the worst kinds of comments?
I have two answers for that.
Okay.
One kind of comment is the offensive autistic kind of stuff.
Yeah, those are annoying.
Autistic
Horrible.
spaghetti. It's like, dude, you're actually, potentially insulting real human beings who have real feelings.
If you don't
and
like the
that's just
musical,
wrong.
either say I didn't like it or give us a reason of what, could have been, oh, that bothered me that this was whatever. Or, I was distracted that this costume was falling apart on the person.
Right.
Give us something productive. Don't just trash not just us, but a bunch of other people that had nothing to do with it at all, that don't deserve that.
Yeah.
So
that's one.
I
The
hate
other is Bob the Tank.
Bob the Tank. This is Bob, and he hates Google Plus.
That's
and
obviously
his
just
tanks.
an umbrella for spam.
Spam.
Specific spam comments. I despise seeing those. They water down the comment stream, the discussion, the community, and it's just detracting to the entire platform. So
yes. First comments are kind of like that too, but I also get why people do it because it is exciting to be the first one there. So
the first one out of 40,000 people, that's something to say.
Yes. So, well, not that we get 40,000 comments.
Well, sure.
Still, yeah. Idea is I don't actually hate those first comments as much as I've heard some people do. But, which kinds? Oh, I'm sorry. Which kinds of comments should people not bother to write?
Same.
Those ones, basically. Or the ones that are like, oh, did you know you can make $20 an hour? Just go to this YouTube video right now here. Or something like that. Or like, sub for sub, dude. I hate those too.
Yeah, those
like,
are bad.
I'll sub to you if you sub to me. It's like, you're missing the point of subscribing. If your goal is just to, like, milk each other. Like,
and then, oh crap, what was it? When we have like a really obvious musical that's on our main page or something like that, and someone's like, you should do a blah musical, which is on our main page, and it's like, okay, I understand that you maybe haven't seen that video, but it's always annoying for me because I'm like, just go to the musical. So usually for those though, it's good that they bothered to write it
because that gives us a chance to say.
Yeah, because then I say, hey, just go here and watch the musical because we already did that.
Yeah. All right, and then this last part of this question was, what is the very best kind of comment? What's the very best kind of comment? It's gotta be the one I've heard so many like beautiful comments over the years where it was somebody who said, I was feeling like crap today, or somebody just dumped me, and somebody said that in the live chat even today, like I just broke up with somebody or something like that, and I feel so much better having watched your stuff. I love those comments. And I've seen those several times, and those are like the ones that honestly make the biggest difference, I think, on our channel, are knowing that somebody who was in a bad place pulled themselves back out, and that we were able to be a part of that. So
there's one other kind
Thank
of
you for
comment
leaving those.
In much more of a cold and heartless form that I appreciate quite a bit, and those are the comments that say things like, because of you I bought this game. Because from a business standpoint, those kinds of comments are the proof that, in fact, we are not damaging businesses who were, parroting IP, intellectual property from, but are actually benefiting them to some degree.
Potentially could end up in a lawsuit with the company, but it's great to know and to have evidence on the video page itself that somebody, in fact, went instead and gave them money for their product, and they didn't have to pay for us to do that.
But that's, from the cold clerical side of things.
One of my favorite comments of all time that I just saw, I'd post on my Facebook at some point. He kind of came around, and I kind of noticed him from the corner of my eye, and he appeared right at the end of the row, kind of like holding a thing. And this is the first autograph I ever signed, because he said, I saw you from across the room, and I recognized you. You're the tap dancing Ganondorf from Random Encounters. And it was like, yes, I am, actually. How did you know that? And I was like, oh, I'm Ganondorf. I'm tapping. Oh, okay. But that was a really cool interaction. Trying to think of what other ones.
One of my favorite is, there's actually video evidence of it. Again, animation on display.
I was going to say animation on display is a good one.
But the next year, the year after the one that AJ just mentioned, was we had just released a Medic song, and we were at animation on display, getting ready for a panel, and a bunch of TF2 cosplayers came by, and we ended up talking to them because why not? And we hadn't mentioned anything about the musical, and finally towards the end we're like, hey, we also have a panel and blah blah blah. We did Medic the musical, and they're like, oh my god, that's you. That makes so much sense. And I know I've seen you before, and it was just really fun. It was fun to talk to people and just not be random encounters, and then suddenly they're like, oh, that's I know these people. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Actually, one more story from Animation on Display. It's funny. Was this last year? I think that we were there, and we're going back to Animation on Display actually in like 2 weeks. So if you're in the San Francisco area, we're coming toward you again. And I hope to have even more awesome stories. Yeah, that we can tell people the next live chat about how we saw you there and hung out with you. I was interviewing people as Pinkie Pie, and a girl came up to me and said, "You're AJ from Random Encounters," or something like that. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I am." I'm like, "Did you recognize me by my hat?" And she said, "No, I recognized you by your face." And I'm like, "Wow, that's the hardest part of it. How would you be able to tell that?" I thought it was like, I was so certain, I was so confident. I was, "Oh yeah, you recognize the hat." And that was like, "No, I know what your face looks like." And it took me completely off guard. So we did at Anime Expo here in Los Angeles have a girl who came up who, I don't remember if I was dressed as Pikachu that day or if I was something else.
But that was fun.
She actually sang the part of the Pikachu song with me on camera, and that was really fun too. We were both like super nervous because I've never gotten to sing with like one of our fans like that. So I was like tripping up, and then she kept messing up because of me like messing up, and then it was like, so we were both kind of embarrassed, but we like got to sing the Pikachu song together on camera, and that was awesome. So that was one of the best fan experiences too. Anyway, I hope to make some of those with you guys. That'd be a lot of fun. Or I already have, maybe.
So Rice Baby Tran is asking, when will the YouTube banner get an update? The TGS logo is still up there. Funny thing about that is, legally, we are still attached to the Game Station, not Polaris Network.
Yeah, we never signed anything to be part of the Polaris Network.
They forgot to send us paperwork for actually signing up for their new network, and so like months later, they're like, "Hey, dudes, you still haven't signed the deal for the new network," and we're like, "Oh, what? We don't know anything about this other than the fact that Polaris also exists now."
Changed names, yeah.
So they sent us the paperwork, but we're like, well, this requires another 2 years of service, and we don't actually want to stay for another 2 years necessarily. We want options.
Yeah, so as of November, we're going to be open to change networks right now. If we'd signed to join Polaris legally,
we'd have to be another 6 months on Polaris.
Yeah.
So legally, we're still bound by the TGS network contract, and therefore the TGS logo.
Yeah, the terms are slightly different, and we just kept the Game Station logo on it. Well, I guess that's what we are, so...
So that may or may not change later, but right now, we're TGS.
Yeah. Reds Games has a question we'll throw in there as well. What is your favorite food? Or what's a food you like a lot? Because you don't have favorites.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you like eating?
I like steaks. Steaks are yummy.
Steaks? Oh, I like steaks. I like burgers. What are your guys' favorite foods? If you're a Pokemon, do you eat berries?
Probably.
Do you drink potions?
By the way, 156.
Oh, crap. We're not going to get through all these. We're going to have to save some of them for the future. All right. Kiego Hero Spatium. Question. What is your positions on different fandoms? What is our positions on different fandoms?
Again, I don't really have positions. Fandoms exist, and people like what they like. I'm sorry, I'm really boring on questions like this,
kind of. So the different fandoms probably are things like Doctor Who has a fandom,
right?
My Little Pony, which has a similar fandom,
right?
Actually, we just talked about this. So many fandoms actually intermix. Sonic fandoms. There's like a furry fandom, hypothetically. There's whatever. We pick on some of them, but only in good fun because it's, I think, our stance that fandoms are fandoms, for a reason. They get to be fans of whoever they want.
Series stuff. At some point, you actually hear some of the themes from Smash Brothers, and...
No, it's right here.
Okay.
I didn't.
And I did, in fact, perform some of that on trumpet and French horn. So I think that's probably the closest I've gotten to any official instrumentation of video games.
Yes. Furthest away country you visited, I saw it. Japan.
The furthest country I've visited is Canada.
Yes. Okay. Here's another. I got this one. This is an interesting one.
Okay.
All right, Steve versus Son. Question. What do you think when your fans go after your haters? What do you think when our fans go after our haters?
It depends on the kind of hater.
We don't have haters.
If it's a hater, i.e. someone who actually just legit doesn't like the stuff, then I'm like, leave him alone. He doesn't like the stuff. If it's someone doing one of those autistic posts or something like that that is non-constructive or actually legitimately offensive, I say more power to them. They only get the chance if I didn't moderate the comment and remove it before they got to attack it.
Yeah.
So
Peter loves vigilante justice.
Yes, I do.
And he's all for putting trolls in their places. As I think that's an animation panel we're doing, like a how to animate stuff. So that's Peter's chance to tell you guys how to do your own Gyarados, and my chance to tell you how to draw really terrible, like 2D Koopas and Batman riding on Pinkie Pie and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be there, and we're going to get to do all sorts of fun stuff. We'll probably interview some people and play some games with you guys and stuff. So if you want to see us there, it's January 25th and 26th. And you can go to their website, aodsf.com. That stands for Animation on Display San Francisco.
Also, it's clear we need better internet here because there's tons of lag. Apparently,
even back here?
Like, people missed half of our fandom discussion.
Oh, well, that was a really short one. But
yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, well.
Maybe if we had more fans, we'd have more money to get new internet.
Or maybe if we didn't live in Lancaster.
Or maybe that. Because Lancaster, actually, we have the best internet available in Lancaster at the moment.
Yeah, we're also going to be at the Level Up Expo in Las Vegas at the beginning of February, which I think we're going to maybe even do a little video announcement for in a week or two. They've got a lot of cool cosplayers there, tons of gaming tournaments and stuff like that. It's like the first actual legit video game convention that we're going to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be in Las Vegas. So if you're in Nevada or the surrounding area at all, this is the first time we're going to be outside of California, and we can't wait to see some non-Californians someplace outside of, like, California. So, yeah, come and hang out with us in Las Vegas February 1st and 2nd. Those are the conventions that we have scheduled right now. Other than that, got a My Little Pony thing in the works. Got a Princess Peach sequel in the works.
And some other random little skit videos, which we're about to shoot
True.
one in a few minutes.
Yeah, so we're going to start messing around with some visual effects kinds of things. So, yeah, thanks for seeing everybody today. Or good to see everybody today. Thanks for coming to see us today.